Nobody, and I mean nobody, saw this coming. The Indiana Fever just pulled off the unthinkable, a win that nobody thought was possible. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball right now. This wasn't just a regular season WNBA game. This was supposed to be the showdown. Clark versus Paige Bueckers, the #1 pick from 2024 against the top pick from 2025. Two college rivals turned professional headliners. But when Clark's injury turned the whole thing upside down, everyone thought the Fever were doomed. What happened instead? Well, let's just say one player's 6 simple words after the game said it all, and what they mean could change everything for this franchise. The game everyone was waiting for. Picture this. A matchup so hyped that the Dallas Wings didn't even bother staying in their normal arena. They moved the game to the American Airlines Center, the same place the Dallas Mavericks play, because they knew they had a blockbuster on their hands. Tickets flew off the shelves. Fans flooded social media with posts. Clark versus Bueckers was more than just a game. It was the moment for women's basketball to shine under the biggest lights yet. 20,000 seats ready to be filled. People didn't just want to see a basketball game. They wanted to witness history. They wanted to see if Caitlin Clark could keep proving she's the new face of the league, while Paige Bueckers tried to steal that crown. Then, disaster strikes. And then, boom. Just 2 nights before the showdown, Clark's groin injury flares up. Suddenly, the game everybody had been waiting for all season was in doubt. Would Clark even play? Would she sit out and let down the thousands who bought tickets just to see her duel Bueckers for the first time in the WNBA? It was a nightmare scenario for the Fever. The last time they played without Clark, they got embarrassed by the Sparks. The ball didn't move, the pace disappeared, and Aaliyah Boston, their all-star big, barely touched the ball. The Wings saw weakness. They smelled blood in the water. Without Clark running the show, Indiana looked like a sitting duck, easy prey for a hungry Dallas team ready to make a statement. The stage is set for a collapse. Game night arrives. Clark isn't starting. 20,000 people in the arena, many wearing Clark jerseys, are buzzing, hoping maybe she'll run out of the tunnel at the last second, like a hero in a movie. But it doesn't happen. And what's worse, the Fever are on the second night of a brutal back-to-back. They just got humiliated. They're tired. They're short-handed, and the Wings know it. If you wrote a script for a blowout, this was it. But basketball doesn't care about scripts. It cares about heart. And that's exactly what the Fever showed next. The unlikely hero. Head coach Stephanie White knew she had to shake things up, and so she did something nobody expected. She put Ari McDonald in the starting lineup, a move that caught the Wings totally off guard. McDonald is a spark plug. She's not Clark, but she's fast, fearless, and plays like every possession is her last chance to prove herself. From the opening tip, she pushed the pace like her hair was on fire. She didn't just survive, she thrived. McDonald went perfect from the field in the first quarter. She forced Dallas to scramble on defense. She opened up lanes that weren't there the night before. And she made the Wings pay for assuming they could just clamp down on Kelsey Mitchell in Boston and call it a night. Aaliyah Boston comes alive with McDonald causing chaos. Aaliyah Boston finally got the touches she needed. She bullied Dallas in the paint. She grabbed rebounds. She scored efficiently. The kind of dominant inside presence that made her the top pick just 2 years ago. You could see her confidence growing with every bucket. The Wings couldn't collapse the paint like they did before because they had to respect McDonald blowing by defenders. Suddenly, Indiana's offense didn't look predictable. It looked dangerous. And the fans, they stayed. 20,000 people who thought they'd come for Clark versus Bueckers ended up witnessing something else. A team that refused to roll over. A record crowd, a record start. The Fever came out swinging. They hit their first 7 shots in a row. 7, against a team that thought they'd fold without their star. By the end of the first quarter, Indiana was up by 20 points, 33-13. Dallas fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Some of them were even standing and clapping for the Fever. Women's basketball history was being made. Even without Clark on the floor, the biggest story was how the Fever showed they weren't a one-player team. 7, Dallas fights back. But of course, this wasn't going to be easy. Dallas woke up. They adjusted. And when you've got Paige Bueckers on your side, you're never really out of it. Bueckers went off. She dropped 27 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 0 turnovers. Let that sink in. 0 turnovers. She made WNBA history that night with that stat line. Dallas chipped away at that 20-point lead. Bit by bit, they found cracks in the Fever defense. They cut the lead to single digits. The huge crowd that had gone from disappointment to disbelief now turned tense again. This was where the Fever usually collapse without Clark. This was where bad habits creep back in. Missed screens, forced shots, panic. Mitchell's takeover. But Kelsey Mitchell wasn't having it. Not this time. Mitchell is that player you don't want to see heat up if you're on the other side. She's streaky, but when she's on, she's unstoppable. She dropped 32 points that night. Calmly, confidently, and exactly when the Fever needed her most. She didn't force hero shots. She trusted her teammates. She moved the ball, hit her spots, and drained big shots every time Dallas tried to steal the momentum. And Aaliyah Boston? She kept grabbing boards and made huge defensive stops down the stretch. The little things that don't make highlight reels, but win games. The final minutes. With the game hanging by a thread, Indiana did something that championship teams do. They found another gear. They locked in on defense. They made clutch plays. They refused to fold. When the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read 94-86, a win nobody saw coming, but one that sent a message to every other team in the league. You can't count us out just because Caitlin Clark isn't on the floor. The 6 words that changed everything. After the game, reporters crowded around Aaliyah Boston. They wanted to know how the Fever pulled this off, how they kept it together without Clark, how they stared down a packed arena, expecting them to fail, and walked out winners. Boston leaned in and dropped 6 words that hit every Fever fan right in the heart. Every game is a home game. That's it. 6 words that sum up exactly what makes this team different. Those 20,000 people didn't just come for Clark. They came for the Fever, and they'll keep coming. The jerseys, the cheers, the energy that follows this team wherever they play. It's a family now, bigger than one superstar. And when Clark comes back healthy, she's returning to a team that knows how to win without her, and that makes them dangerous. Closing hook. So what does this win mean? It means the Fever are no longer just the Caitlin Clark show. They're a real threat. They're third in the East. They've got the Commissioner's Cup coming up, a big homestand on the horizon, and the belief that they can beat anyone when it counts. If you've got the Fever, drop a comment below and tell me, did you see this win coming? Are they championship material when Clark is back at full strength? Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss what happens next. Because trust me, this is just the beginning for the Indiana Fever. Click the next video on your screen right now. And the movement beyond the court. This win did more than shift the standings. It sparked a movement off the hardwood. Across Indiana, youth leagues saw a surge in registrations the very next day. Girls who grew up watching Clark dreamt of donning Fever red, but now they want to emulate McDonald's fearless drives or Boston's all-court tenacity. Social media lit up with clips of that first quarter blitz. #FeverNation trended, local bakeries sold, every game is a home game cupcakes, and radio stations replayed Boston's 6 words on loop. Sponsors scrambled to get in on the action. Suddenly, this isn't just a team, it's a cultural phenomenon. At local schools, teachers reported more students quoting, "Every game is a home game," in class. Sports programs used the win as a case study in underdog resilience, and community centers hosted watch parties for the Fever's homestand in Indianapolis. This ripple effect shows how a single game, fueled by teamwork, grit, and unbreakable fan support, can reshape an entire community. For the Fever, every alley-oop, every clutch defensive stop became proof that basketball can unite beyond age, gender, or background. And as those young fans lace up their sneakers this fall, they'll carry forward the Fever's belief. The movement beyond the court. This win did more than shift the standings. It sparked a movement off the hardwood. Across Indiana, youth leagues saw a surge in registrations the very next day. Girls who grew up watching Clark dreamt of donning Fever Red, but now they want to emulate McDonald's fearless drives or Boston's all-court tenacity. Social media lit up with clips of that first-quarter blitz. Hashtag Fever Nation trended, local bakeries sold, every game is a home game cupcakes, and radio stations replayed Boston's 6 words on loop. Sponsors scrambled to get in on the action. Suddenly, this isn't just a team, it's a cultural phenomenon. At local schools, teachers reported more students quoting, "Every game is a home game," in class. Sports programs used the win as a case study in underdog resilience, and community centers hosted watch parties for the Fever's homestand in Indianapolis. This ripple effect shows how a single game, fueled by teamwork, grit, and unbreakable fan support, can reshape an entire community. For the Fever, every alley-oop, every clutch defensive stop became proof that basketball can unite beyond age, gender, or background. And as those young fans lace up their sneakers this fall, they'll carry forward the Fever's belief. Wherever you play, you're never far from home.